Hi everyone, what's up? It's Joshua here from Alternative Brewing, and today we're taking a look at Kinu's Phoenix hand grinder. This is the most affordable of the Kinu hand grinders and the lightest in the range, coming in at just over 700 grams. This doesn't mean though that it lacks any of the precision or the exceptional build quality we have come to expect with Kinu grinders. And to quickly demonstrate how the Phoenix performs, I have a 20-gram dose of lightly roasted coffee, and I've got the Kinu Phoenix set for an Aeropress grind, so basically a medium grind setting. Now the Phoenix is going to be able to grind up to 40 grams of beans at a time, and it really doesn't have any limit to what it can grind for. Comfortably grinding for Turkish and Espresso, but also pour overs like V60 and Chemex and immersion brewers like the Aeropress and the French press. Naturally, it will take longer the finer you grind, but for a comparison, I timed myself on a grinder quarter of the price, and I was still grinding by the end of this video. And you can start to see a really nice consistency in the grind here. It's a very homogeneous grind size, and it wasn't too much of a workout either. This even grinding will really showcase the sweetness a coffee has, as well as its clarity and balance. So let's start from the top though and run through the assembly of the Kinu Phoenix. Straight out of the box, this grinder is going to be ready to go, and the only thing you need to do is unscrew the top locking nut, slide the metal handle through the drive hub, and then screw the locking nut back down to secure the handle. And this also locks down your grind size adjustment for later. The knob to the handle I found is a really good size to grip onto, and the length of the handle itself provides fantastic leverage, which helps the grinding action of lighter roasted, higher altitude beans, or those finer grind settings to be almost effortless. And that smoothness to the rotation of the handle, being completely silent with barely any wobble, does attest to the attention in the manufacturing here. Now the grind change adjustment wheel is well marked out and can be clearly seen from the top of the grinder, and the drive hub has a notch on it that provides you the mark to determine your grind setting. And the one thing I love about the Phoenix is that you have a 0 point marked, which is an important factor in first setting your grinder up, but also great if you tend to jump across large grind changes or brew methods, and this takes out any guesswork or fiddling about between those grind changes. Now in changing your grind setting, this is a stepless grinder, meaning you have a full range of movement and are not locked into a specific groove. To follow your grind settings, there are 50 markings to a full rotation, and here Kinu has even given you the exact distance the burrs move away from each other with each marking adjusted. So at 1/100th of a millimeter, it's safe to say you'll need to undo the lock screw and rotate the adjustment wheel at least once, if not 2 full rotations before you begin grinding on the Phoenix. And to try and quickly explain how to interpret Kinu grind settings, you'll generally see 3 numbers. And the first number correlates to how many full rotations are made from the 0 point. The second number relates to the numbers seen on the wheel, so adjust to the number after your full rotations. And then the third number relates to the 4 notches between each number. And if you don't see the second or third number in the setting, then that means there are no further adjustments required. It seems like a lot, but it does make grind change universal across the Phoenix and all the Kinu grinders, and hopefully this helps you dial in a tastier brew quicker. You can also check out our description below. I've included some of our recommended grind settings for brew methods there. Now the ABS plastic funnel has a really large opening to it and makes loading beans really easy to do so with very little bounce out, especially if you cup your hand over the grinder. And the hopper holds 60 grams of beans, but I'm not sure why you would add any more than what the actual dosing cup holds, so I generally consider that to be the grinder's capacity. With a steel hopper and dual upper and lower plastic brackets inside the grinder that hold multiple steel ball bearings in place, there's plenty of support, and I'd take a guess at there being almost no burr wobble during grinding. Taking a look at the burrs, they are held in place by a steel drive shaft and spring. And the Kinu Phoenix uses 47mm steel conical burrs, and these are black fusion treated burrs, which is meant to extend the peak performance of them for longer. The Phoenix performs better at finer grind settings, and you may begin to notice less consistency in the grinds at coarser grind settings, where you might be brewing, say, a French press or a larger batch style brew. But this is generally the case with most hand grinders, and I haven't seen it to be a concern here. Now the grinds catcher, it can hold 40 grams and it's made from ABS plastic. You may notice there's a small lip on the inside of the catcher, which can interfere a small amount with getting your dose out, as well as there is some static buildup around the cup and the bottom of the grinder. So if you're not aware of this, then you might find it getting a little messy. On the plus side though, I did find it removed some of the silver skin from my coffee. It also does seal quite nicely with a small O-ring tightly to the bottom of the Phoenix. And it's that plastic catcher, the O-ring, and the rubber band on the outside of the body of the Phoenix that prevents slippage during grinding that pretty well make up the only items on the grinder that might need replacing. The rest of the grinder, given proper care and attention, is so robustly built, it will honestly last many years. Taking apart the Kinu to clean involves unscrewing the top nut, removing the handle and the drive hub, unscrewing the adjustment wheel, and then slowly lowering the drive shaft out the bottom of the grinder to access the burrs and the inside of the Kinu. I would keep the areas around the top free of any grinds or dust buildup by taking a cloth to all the parts before placing it back together. And that's the Kinu Phoenix hand grinder for you. I've seen no disadvantages to the overall performance with having a little extra plastic on the build of the Phoenix, and it makes for a lighter Kinu grinder. That would suit someone traveling, but really is a grinder I would happily recommend to anyone looking for a superior quality hand grinder that's ultra consistent and can grind to any brew method. If you have any questions on the Kinu Phoenix, then throw them in the comments section below and we'll get straight back to you. Don't forget to hit that little bell icon on your screen, and that way you stay notified when we bring out new videos just like this every week. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.